Hello friends, and welcome to another video in my Valorant series. Today is going to be a continuation of things I wish I knew when I started. This is the part 2, so if you haven't seen the first one, highly recommend watching that first. Today I'm going to be covering maybe 3 to 4 things, and really I want to make this as simple as possible, so let's jump into it. Right now I'm in a customs, I have the cheats on, and I'm on Haven. So if you guys are having a good time, I hope you guys can subscribe and like this video. It will definitely help me out. Shout out to On for this punny joke. And let's get into it. So the 3 to 4 things that I'm going to be talking about is having your knife out versus your gun out, walking versus running, when to reload, when to have your abilities out, economy, buying up, bonus, what does that mean, and communication etiquette. So the first one is going to be knife versus gun out. So as we see, we're on the attacker side right now, and for example, if we were trying to push C and we already noticed that someone's up there and then maybe a sage just walled up the entry of C, maybe we communicate with our team, actually let's rotate, let's not push here. In this case, if the time is only at maybe 1:30, then that's when you can kind of just run for it. But when you start to get to a section where there is an opening, you'll definitely want to make sure that this angle is clear because someone may have already walked up from garage. And then here we can go back to our knife, because having our knife out versus our gun out, we do walk a little bit faster when we don't have our gun equipped. And then here someone could have already walked up B window. And then basically when we're already close to where we want to rotate to, like A lobby in this case, we want to make sure we have our gun out already, because there could be someone that walked up long or is just kind of standing in a corner in short. So we want to make sure we have our angles checked when we are pushing a site. Sometimes a jet or a raise can be up here or up here. So we of course, again, want to make sure we're mindful of these angles. And let's say we are already on a site and we plant. What do we do here? We want to make sure we can hold a cross, maybe with our teammate. Someone may be standing in hell. I'll be standing here in this graffiti section. Make sure it's here. And then whenever we are on a site, we don't typically want to have our knife out anymore. We want to be quiet and just wait for the other team to get on the site. If we have abilities available, we can have those set up. Let's say for KJ, we can have it here for CT, and then we can have maybe her turret watching short. And that way, if someone from heaven sees it and shoots it, we'll know someone is in heaven. If someone is walking from short, we'll know based off of the turret contact. And then maybe we have someone under in hell watching A long, and we just wait. So as I was putting my abilities down, you still also want to make sure that you're in a safe location when you're putting down any of your abilities. If you are a sentinel, if you're a controller, making sure you're in a safe spot when you put your smokes. Sometimes I've seen cases where someone's just kind of walking out and not really mindful of someone that could be walking up from here or maybe from spawn. And typically you don't need to have your ability all the way out here. Once we plant somewhere, we can have it in the opening of CT, just so if there is contact on that ability, we can either swing off of it, or we'll have an easier way to fight them versus being out here, and that's not really helpful for us. We'll just know that the enemy team is there, but this alarm bot is not going to kill them or slow them down. Another thing about having abilities out or your gun out or your knife out is kind of just like when to reload. So let's say right now I only have 10 bullets. Let's say I just picked it up and I want to reload it. If I'm pushing from CT into A, I don't want to reload it while I'm running in, because that takes away time from me to actually go ahead and take a fight with someone. So if I was trying to get on this site, I will reload out here in safety, and then I'll go ahead and push the site and make sure I check all the angles. Because many a times it's just not efficient and it doesn't make sense for you to be doing multiple things at the same time in this game. So if you need to reload, make sure you're in a safe spot. If you want to put an ability down, make sure you clear the area that you're in before you set it down or put it down. And one more thing about reloading, let's say you're trying to take A and you're doing a little bit of this spamming, and right now I have 19 bullets. You know, I can still try to take a site with 19 bullets. For some cases that I've seen, maybe even 2 or 3 bullets, someone already auto reloads. And I think, again, for efficiency's sake, I try to make sure every bullet counts. I know with the nerf of the bullet reserve for guns, for specifically Vandals and Phantoms, I try not to spray through smokes or spray walls anymore as much as I was in the past. So even if I had 3 bullets, I'm going to make sure I am in control of the bullets that I'm shooting versus just spraying and praying or spraying and crouching. So just making sure you're mindful of that. Other than that, the last thing to talk about is two last things to talk about is economy. So let's say we're starting a fresh game and we're just with our classics. Depending what type of agent you are, either you can buy another type of pistol, you could get a ghost, you can pick up a frenzy or a shorty depending how your playstyle is, and maybe buy some abilities. In the case that you win that first pistol round, the second round, typically it is recommended that you buy up. You could do Spectre and Light Shield, Spectre and Heavy Shield. Some people, if they're really feeling their aim is good and the team is hyped to actually buy rifles, you can get a Phantom or a Vandal. So let's say you do end up winning that second round when you bought Spectres, because gun difference again, the other team maybe just had their classics, then that means the third round would be your bonus round. You wouldn't need to buy a new gun because you still have a Spectre, and in that way we know that the other team will be able to buy. So maybe your team strategizes that you'll all group up and try to go through garage because you have Spectres and they're not really long range. So in the event that you win that round, again, if you win that round, then you can buy up for the fourth one. However, if you lose that round, that bonus round, that's okay, because you'll still have money for the next round to buy a Phantom or a Vandal. So having this mentality of, am I saving here? Am I buying up here? As long as you can understand how the other team economy is as well, I think even just having gun battles will allow you guys to win a round. You know, you don't always have to have your abilities, but again, this game is about the combination of both abilities and guns. So just communicating with your team and making sure you're all buying at the same time and not only one person buying a Vandal and everyone else saving, unless you want to troll, or unless you know that person that's buying a Vandal will get some kills and then someone else can pick it up if they end up dying. And one thing to note is, what does it even mean for economy? I have the cheats on in this customs game, but typically to the amount of money that you need for a full buy, quote unquote, is 2,900, which is a Phantom or a Vandal, and 1,000 for heavy shield. So that would be 3,900. That's not including any of your abilities. So if you were looking to have all your abilities and having a full buy, then you'll want to make sure you have more than 3,900 for the round that you are buying up. So that's kind of a general kind of idea of the amount and when you buy. You can also, when there is a full game, you'll see when you hold tab, you can see how much money people on your team and the other team have. So you can see, let's say you do win this round, or maybe you won the first 3 rounds, and the other team, maybe they just keep forcing. So their economy, they don't have a lot to buy any rifles. So I hope that that explanation is clear. If you guys do have questions about any of this, feel free to leave a comment down below, or feel free to message me in Discord. I'm sure that whoever is watching is mostly any of my friends that I do play with. So yeah, feel free to ask away, or even when I am streaming, happy to help with anything that I can. And the last point that I wanted to go over is communication etiquette. Pretty much just don't talk when you're dead. Unless it's a good call out, knowing where the enemy team is. Typically, you don't want to have a conversation with someone else on your team when someone else on your team is alive, because then they can't hear what's going on and they might not be able to clutch the round. So if you don't have anything useful to say in the game, typically either type it in the team chat or just hold on to your thought until the round is over. Anyway, I wanted to play a clip of me making sure I did save all my bullets, and I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye! I'm ulting.
Alright, let's go, let's go. What's the push?
Oh, where is this? She wasn't even fucking
Push together.
spawned.
One enemy remaining.
Arcade, arcade, arcade,
Last player
arcade,
standing.
arcade.
Please go. Nice.